Good morning, Hojo staff, students, and families. Ya'ate Abena. Ready to start our day? So everybody, please stand. Place your right hand over your heart. Our voices are off and our bodies are still. Our eyes are on the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, February 18th. And I'm glad to be back after being away, and we've had some bad weather, so we're glad to get back in the routine. I certainly missed seeing all of you, and I'm glad to be here and welcome you all back to school today. Okay, so we normally start each day, right, with our music. We have a new selection of music that Mrs. Neff has given us for this week, and we'll only have it for 2 days, but it might be very familiar to you. See if you have ever heard this song or this tune before. Have you ever heard that piece before? I bet you it sounds familiar to some of you. Maybe you've been waiting for some ice cream, or maybe you've been to a fair and you've heard that tune before. That's Scott Joplin. Can you say that? Scott Joplin. And the title of the piece is The Entertainer. And it's often played on ice cream trucks or at fairs and different places. It's very popular. It was composed by Scott Joplin, who was an African-American composer who was born in 1868 in the South in Arkansas. Can you imagine how difficult it would be for an African-American composer to become so popular and famous that we would be listening to his music today? Because 1868, when he was born, the Civil War had just ended. Lincoln had just been assassinated. We were in the Reconstruction period right after the Civil War. And it was very difficult for African American men or women to become sort of popular with their music or art. So it's really incredible that we have this piece. So Scott Joplin is known as the king of ragtime, which was a genre that later became jazz or big band swing music that's so popular in the United States. And there was a movie that was made in the 1970s that sort of brought this piece back to everyone's attention. And it's so peppy and light and happy that it winds up being something that we hear on ice cream trucks. So it's even happier. It's alerting us to the presence of ice cream. But he died in 1917, but he was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for Music in 1976. So he was awarded it posthumously. And that means that somebody is awarded something after they have died. So posthumously awarded the Pulitzer Prize. So, Scott Joplin, The Entertainer. Okay, now do you remember who our artist was before I left to go to the training in Michigan? Frederick Edwin Church. That's right. And remember we had the Heart of the Andes. And remember we had, what was another one? Do you remember? Icebergs. Remember that one? And then Cotopaxi, the volcano, all the power of nature, the power and beauty of nature. And then remember the Parthenon. It almost looks like a picture, doesn't it? And we remember the little details where you could tell what type of species each plant was. He painted with such detail. And so today's picture or painting is Passing Shower in the Tropics. In the tropics. So what are we expecting to see if I say the tropics? You're expecting to see some palm trees maybe? And so the tropics are often considered a paradise, especially for people who don't live near those places. And you think all the lush greenery and the palm trees. And so here is Frederick Edwin Church's picture, painting, Passing Shower in the Tropics. And in the middle you can see a little house here, but the light shining down is sort of the most important feature of this painting. And it's sort of showing us the beauty of nature, right? That it's a paradise. Nature can be a paradise. But we also could see in Cotopaxi that it's a volcano, right? Or it's a powerful waterfall, or the icebergs that you can only see the very tip, but down below there's these huge mountains of ice. There's power in nature and beauty. So Frederick Edwin Church, Passing Shower in the Tropics. Okay, so on to our poem by Christina Rossetti, and I believe this is, if I'm right, it's a second grade poem. Not 100% sure on that, but so each of our grade levels memorize poetry, and I believe this is a second grade selection by Christina Rossetti, and it is Who Has Seen the Wind is the title. So it's a 2-stanza poem, and I'm going to read it to you now. Who has seen the wind? Neither I nor you, but when the leaves hang trembling, the wind is passing through. Who has seen the wind? Neither you nor I, but when the trees bow down their heads, the wind is passing by. So the poet, Christina Rossetti, is talking to us about the wind, and it's something that's invisible. The wind is invisible, but yet we know it's there. How do we know it's there? And she says you can tell when the wind passes through the leaves. You can see there's the wind there. When the leaves, she uses the word trembling. When the leaves are trembling, you can see it. And when the trees bow down, you can tell that the wind is there. We get a lot of wind in Gallup in the spring, so it's coming, friends. And we may not be able to see it, but I know when the wood chips hit my window. That's how I know we have wind. Okay, friends. Next, we've been studying the Bill of Rights, which was, the Bill of Rights are the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, right? The law of our land, the U.S. Constitution, the first 10 amendments to secure our rights as citizens, to protect our liberties. And so, for example, tell me what the First Amendment is. Let's say it together. Do you remember? You start. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Right. All right, so we've been practicing. We've done the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and now the Sixth Amendment. We just introduced the Sixth Amendment before I left to go on a training. So I'll say it again, and then you repeat. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. That was the Sixth Amendment. Now, these things are so important, probably less important for you right now, because you're probably not going to be accused of any crimes or be facing any jail sentences. But there'll be a time when, or maybe you know somebody who could be accused of something, but we want to make sure that our laws are fair, that we feel protected from people who would commit crimes, but that the government cannot just accuse you of crimes and to do things to you because they don't like who you voted for a president, or they don't like the job that you have, or they don't like your opinions on things. They can't just put you in jail. So these are important rights that you need to know and be familiar with so that you can protect them, because it's we the people who are the government, right? So it'll be you in charge of that. So we missed a couple of birthdays. So let me tell you that Annabella had a birthday and Romeo had a birthday. So happy birthday to the two of you. And there are no birthdays today, that, at least according to my list. No birthdays today, but two that we missed from snow and other things. Okay, so announcements. We're going to be ending the third quarter soon, believe it or not, in just a few weeks. So if you have incompletes on your report card, make sure that you do your very best to get those caught up. If you have incompletes on your report card, we're going to be asking parents to do a parent-teacher conference to come in and talk about what we can do about that, because we have to decide if people are moving on to the next grade, or maybe we need to repeat this past year, so when everybody's feeling safe and can return to school and when we're allowed to have everybody here at school. So we need to decide how we're going to do that. Are kids going to move on to the next grade level, or do we want to repeat the year because you didn't have enough time to get your work done and you wouldn't be ready? Wouldn't be really fair for you to go, if you're in fourth grade right now, to go to fifth grade if you haven't done fourth grade math. There's no way you could do fifth grade math in a whole year of it too. So we don't want you to struggle. So we have to figure out some things. So we're going to meet with parents about that. So we'll be sending out some information about some parent-teacher conferences soon. Okay, friends. Sports have started back up, so I'll be sending an email to parents about that. But you cannot have an incomplete on your report card and play sports. So it's really important to stay focused and make sure you get all your work done and turned in. Okay, friends, that's all I have for today. So let's do our student pledge. I will do the good, I will learn the true, and I will love the beautiful. And I hope you have a great day today.